Hey everyone, Matt here, obviously. So I've talked about Aethers Oath before on the podcast and how we've decided to partner with them so we can actually have a really good group of people just taking care of our merch. Hey Joe, hey Mackenzie, how did Aethers Oath get started?
I just kind of wanted to make like my own clothes, just at least shirts wise, because I have like too many shirts at home, so I wanted to like start being more picky with what I wore. But I definitely wanted to tap into like a music market for like people who are more rock and metal oriented, because I feel there aren't a ton of clothing lines that kind of go with that.
And when it comes to designs, Aethers Oath is definitely inspired by gothic, horror, tarot, and especially the metal genre as well. Looking at Aethers Oath merch, there is a lot of influence in this. And with that being said, how have your customers received and how have they felt about your product?
We've had a couple drops so far. In our initial one, everyone was really drawn to it. We dropped a tarot card of our face of the Aethers Oath, which is Aether herself, and she's our Reaper. And people have really, really enjoyed it. We have gotten lots of feedback as far as what people would like to see, what type of merch for both men and women. And it's been really, really exciting so far. And a lot of people have been asking more about what we're having for the future and what's coming up.
With a big future ahead of you and a lot more plans coming through the pipeline coming into 2020, where could everyone go to get their own Aethers Oath branded merch?
If you want to do it online, you can go to aethersoath.com. It's AETHERSOATH.com. We have all of our products up there, from stickers, posters, to shirts.
Right there, girls and gals, we decided to team up with Aethers Oath because they not only care about what they're doing in their products, but they care about the people that they take care of. That's why we love them. That's why we decided to partner with them. So please check out aethersoath.com today. Again, that is AETHERS oath.com. All right, thank you.
Cool.
So,
Cool.
I watched the documentary Fire Fraud, the one on Hulu. And man,
that was good.
It's like the one time that I'm glad that like my income is like lower to like somewhere in the middle class. Like, cause like, so I guess like some people like shelled like $250,000 to attend this event. And
Jesus.
Come to find, like everybody knows now, like the dude, Billy McFarlane, fucking lied about it, and this just basically ended like on him being like this really clever con man, in that people are gonna fall for his shit again more than likely, but it just like fucking Ja Rule is just like, he's like, I don't know that, like he went from like being in a prior business venture with him, right?
Yeah.
About fucking credit cards, and then he tries to go into this next one about a festival. And at some point, you gotta question Ja Rule's intelligence. Because you're just like, because he's here on a front seat for the whole time, and you can be like, oh, he's a rapper, he likes to party the whole time, because that's all they did. But I would just argue that maybe Ja Rule's kind of a fucking moron. Because, like, there's this big festival that, this guy named Billy McFarlane wants to do, like, on this island, and only have 7 months to do it. Like, and I get it, you could be like, well, that's what con men are, they're really good at manipulating, but yeah, at some point, though, there's gotta be red flags. And it's like Ja Rule, dude. It's not like he's doing anything that's really making him, like, relevant right now. So, like, you gotta imagine, like, that was, like, a real, like, fucking bruise to, like, his goddamn wallet. But at the same time, I'm just like, I can't not ever listen to your music or hear anything you say again and just, like, not think that you're a total idiot. And then I also remember that didn't he go out with, I just had her in my name. No, I had her name in my head. No, didn't he, like, date J-Lo at some point? Or am I just, like, totally mistaken?
Ja Rule?
Yeah, I could be mistaken. Whatever.
I don't know.
I don't know. Point being is that, like, I remember him dating someone, like, way in the 90s who was, like one of, like, the hottest, like, R&B, hip-hop stars.
Ashanti?
Ashanti, thank you.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I don't know why I feel that. Yeah, no, it was Ashanti. I don't know why I thought it was J-Lo. Fuck me. Whatever. Point being... So, like, he dated Ashanti, and you look at Ja Rule, and you look at Ashanti, and you're just like, all right, Ashanti's definitely the better looking. And, like, I just think about it, man. I'm just like, where is his fucking intelligence, though? Like,
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I know it's really weird, but I just got really bored at some point with the documentary, and I just went off on that tangent in my head, and I feel like I really need to share it, just to... And like, I don't know if my whole point is that I think Ja Rule is an idiot, or I think everybody who invested in fire fraud's an idiot. All I know is like, how can you shell out $250,000 and just like come back from that? And like, that blows my mind.
I was gonna say, what did Ja Rule ever do to you, dude? Like, fuck, that was just.
He's just such an idiot. Like,
God, okay.
like, I don't hate the dude, but like, I don't admire him, that's for sure, but I definitely don't hate him. I just, like... And besides, what is he going to actually hear this? I mean, it'd be kind of fucking funny if John Will actually did catch wind of this goddamn episode. He's like, look at these fucking motherfuckers, these idiots, this one bitch doesn't even know what he's fucking talking about. He thinks he's funny. He's not goddamn funny. He's funnier than him. It's just like, I'm just thinking like the worst shit he could say, and then all I can just be like, look, man, publicity's publicity. We're the podcast that Ja Rule hates. So there you go.
I just imagining this too. We like start getting like, so I could just imagine it would be Harrison to tell us too. It would be Harrison would just send me a link in a text message like to both of us. And he'd be like, Harrison, I'm out. I'd be like, Harrison, I'm at work. I can't look at this. What the fuck's going on? And he'd be like, no, you gotta fucking look at this.
More than likely, Harrison would try to do it, but it would be James that sends it, and you'll see that James is
well, no, see, Harrison would be telling me just to watch it, but James would just tell me. He'd be like, Harrison would be trying to convince me to watch this video for like over an hour, and you know how I am. I'd be like, no, fucking just tell me. And he'd be like, no, just watch the movie. Come on, Cody, fucking let me have this cool moment. This is gonna be awesome. And Harrison's like getting into it, and then James would be like, hey, Ja Rule is shitting on you.
And welcome back to the Punk Rock Horror Podcast. I'm the Undead Matt.
I'm Cody. Cody.
And just
Don't
Cody.
have a name.
That is your name now, Just Cody.
Just Cody.
And today, we are here to remind you to invest in your local store and get some tea. Tea is delicious.
I was going to go more on the lines. Invest into your independent artists.
Yes. Even better.
Especially like comic book. I would say especially along the lines of comic books and painting. And shirts and anything gone on those.
Podcasts.
Nothing on iHeartRadio. But like,
actually, some of our friends are on iHeart.
I know, I was kidding. But
we love you, Terrorcast.
But no, just like seriously, invest in your independent scene. Like, it's really cool. Like, go to an independent show, invest in independent art. I know we've preached that a lot, but seriously, a lot of cool stuff turn out.
Yeah.
Just like, you know, in interview we just had that you guys won't hear for a little bit, but vampire dinosaurs. That has not been in any mainstream thing I've seen yet.
I mean, I guess Iron Sky comes pretty close with theirs, I guess.
Yeah.
Aren't Nazis and vampires the same thing, really?
Basically. I
mean, they're all about pure bloodlines, you know, one specific species.
You know, a bunch of our listeners who really love vampires and go, fuck yourself, man.
Case in point, the Underworld series. I'm just saying. They were all about, because they were wanting to get rid of a certain species.
The werewolves were the Nazis.
And the vampires.
No, it was just the werewolves.
But it was like Nazi versus super Nazi.
Okay. I was like,
it was like an army of regular Hitlers versus an army of mecha Hitlers.
Okay, because I was like, they really did in the fourth one. The fourth one. After like the main story arc or whatever, where you were like following the love life or whatever of Selena. Yeah. And then it was this one where like you think all the lichens are gone and stuff, but like she ends up finding this lichen laboratory, and one of them is. Wink, wink, not Gerbil. Like, with his portrayal. So.
Well, either way, talking about things that hate things and things that love other things, we're going to jump into the segment.
We love.
Going to jump into things that we love and hate this week.
Yeah.
So, If you're new to the show, then I will explain it to you. Otherwise, you know what you're getting into. Something we love and hate is literally just a segment where we talk about something in the world around us that's happened in the past day, week, or even month that we want to give our opinion on. Feel free to reach out to us, tell us if you agree or disagree, or think that we're morons. I mean, either way, like, at least I kind of have it coming for at least talking that mad shit about Ja Rule. Like,
just a little bit.
I've seen the internet, man.
I'm just
like after seeing like Machine Gun Kelly take on Eminem and then just like him get destroyed, and then like
Nick Cannon,
and then Nick Cannon too getting just like fucking ruined.
Well, actually, I think that's still going on, but I just think it's funny that Nick Cannon's like, you know what? I want to take shots again.
Yeah, because like Eminem doesn't give a shit. I'm just like, yeah, well, fucking might as well. It's Ja Rule.
So everyone taking shots at Eminem has inspired you to just maybe take a shot at just Ja Rule.
Yeah, like work your way up, man. Kind of like, you know, Mike Tyson's Punch Out.
Man, I hope we don't get like hunted for this. How much
Yo, I heard what you said up on Ja Rule.
Oh my god.
That's correct, but you were very disrespectful with your tone.
Oh my god, you stopped to... Yeah, I mean, you're right, but...
That was really just disrespectful.
All right,
your tone was a little out of line.
Stick to your guns there, man.
Remember, apologize when needed. I mean, like, who's that gonna fucking offend? Like, for real? Like,
I know.
Is there like a diehard Ja Rule fan who's just like, if I hear one more negative thing about Ja Rule out of the 5,369 negative things, that's it. 5,370? No more. Like,
okay. All right.
I mean, if you like Ja Rule, why do you give a shit? Right?
I don't know. It's just
also,
threw me
who
off,
listens to Ja Rule and listens to us?
I don't.
Exactly.
I don't know.
So I feel like it's pretty safe.
I guess if you do, let us know. But so Ja Rule, the thing you hate this week there? Yeah.
So the thing, no, actually, no. No, the thing I hate this week is actually something that like is actually far more like serious, and so bringing the tone down, coming back. So when we are always willing to throw shit at people from other different states or even other parts of the country, but it's definitely got to be even more so when it's coming from our own home state of Colorado. Mm-hmm. So I found this out earlier today. Where in Cortez, Colorado, there is this woman that goes by the name of Dean who has this antique store. Well, she sells antiques, but the antiques she sells are, well, to put it bluntly, racist. She sells signs that says colored seated in rear, we serve colored carryout only, public swimming pool, white only, and also has like a lot of porcelain dolls that are not, they're figure. I mean, it doesn't matter, like they're little statues. But what matters about it is that they're portrayed with blackface, red lips, everything. Like, the exact definition of what you imagine it. And so, when people finally reached out to her, they found out that she's been doing this for 15 years. So she's used to it. Like, this is supposedly, like, what she's done for 15 years, which I think is just blows my fucking mind that she can sell racist shit for 15 years and now is getting called out on it.
Yeah.
Not that I'm blaming anyone, it's just the fact that she's able to get away with it. But then also come to find out that her response to it was basically like everywhere is selling, black people memorabilia. That's how she described it. And so I guess she did like a Google search and sent it to the news station, but they didn't post the picture because of obvious reasons. And so she's like, everybody's doing it. And what I loved is that, because I want to give them a shout out because they handled it really, really well. And I think they were really, they did a great job. So, from Dr. Cheryl Felicia Means said that just because you're doing this doesn't mean it's appropriate. Just because everyone else is doing it doesn't mean it's appropriate. And quoted, she said, the more you perpetuate these kinds of images, the easier it is to justify the subordination of black populations in the United States. And, like, spot fucking on. Like, the fact, like, that's how it is. The more you do it, the more people get used to it, and the less weird it seems when really it's not weird, it's just beyond offensive.
Normalization.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Like, that's what she's trying to do, and it's like, that's not okay. That's not okay to normalize that shit anymore.
Well, so what Dean said to I will say though that she sold the last 2 signs recently, this past Wednesday, and after receiving all the publicity online, she says that she doesn't plan to restock the signs because the wholesaler she bought them from no longer sells them. But before that,
there's a wholesaler for them still.
Yeah, but so
still
when responding to all this, though, she said that people are blowing it out of proportion and said, if you don't like it, go away. I don't get in your life, said Dean. Which basically, that whole mindset is, I don't care that I sell racist materials and memorabilia, and I don't care that I'm normalizing the stigma of racism in our culture and our society. I don't care how it affects you, I'm still going to do it anyways. And it's just, like... That's and yeah, obviously I'm putting words in her mouth, but if she's gonna go off the deep end and sell this type of shit, drives me crazy. I mean, I mean, keep in mind, I'm not African American, so I can only like sympathize to an extent being Native and Latin American, but still though, like we need to unite together with shit like this and not do the whole racial divide, because that shit like that is the problem. She is the problem. And it just makes me fucking mad, dude.
Well, like,
a month into 2020.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's just, to me, like, okay, that comment should only pertain to stuff that happens inside your own home.
Right.
Like, you know, like, for instance, the LGBTQ community, I feel like they're a group that can say something like that. Like, that, if my life bothers you, then don't put your nose into my life.
Well, yeah.
But when you're selling something to the public... You're in public view. You have to acknowledge that you're in some kind of limelight no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
there's no way that you're not gonna get blown.
No, and then it's just
eventually.
Like, and then especially to be selling, just to be okay and totally open and selling like as these racist things at this time and day and age. It's stupid, and it's just like. It's just gross to still have that kind of mindset and be like, no, you know what? Then don't buy it. It's like, no, you're not understanding. Like, because I used to have that mindset, but after a while, like, I realized, I'm like, no, because that's normalizing a terrible thing. Well, and you can't normalize terrible things. We need to, like, be aware so we could change for the better. It's like, and shit like that.
To put it in perspective, what she also saying, like, to make it so it doesn't sound like more of an over-dramatic exaggeration, is what she's basically saying is, like, if we were going to make this into, like, a physical metaphor of some sort, it would be like you're walking down the street and you see, you know, African American kid getting yelled at by like white kids, or not even white kids, but just like racists and being called really terrible shit, and then they look at you, you're going to do something about it, and they would say, if you don't like it, look the other way.
Yeah, that just basically is.
Obviously, that's an extreme example because I made it up to be that way. So before anyone calls me out for that shit, I know I did that on purpose. But the point being is just like the whole, it adds to the whole look away. If you ignore the problem, it'll go away. Negative stigma, and that's not how it works at all. Like,
no, it's not.
Ignoring a problem, ignoring anything won't stop it from existing. And so, like,
yeah.
And it's basically just like look the other way thing just drives me fucking
Moral
crazy.
of the story: stop being a shitbag.
Yeah, don't be racist.
Like, don't be racist.
But the thing I love though, is I love getting out of my comfort zone to make new friends. So recently on this forum we follow, shout out to them by the way. Page is called Legion of Geeks. They're on Facebook. They're one of the few good things about Facebook. So, so I love them. And so this guy named I'm just gonna use his first name, but this guy's named Carlos comments on there that he wants. He's looking for friends for Star Wars Battlefront 2. I recently picked up the game and I really enjoy it because they fixed a lot of the problems with it. But that's a separate talk all on its own. But point being is that they fixed it, and so like I actually just wanted to play a Star Wars game, so I picked it up, and I told him, yeah, man, here's my online name, let's play. Started playing, and like he's a really cool dude, I enjoyed him, and then
I
invited him to. I'm sorry.
For the podcast, before recording.
That made Audacity freeze for like a second. Just like, Oh,
yeah, you're not allowed to drink anything before or during anymore. We've tried energy drinks, you're all burpy and gassy. We've tried coffee, you're all burpy and gassy. Now you're drinking fucking tea, and you can't stop burping on the fucking podcast.
It's Earl Grey tea, the tea that Patrick Stewart drinks.
And makes Matt burpy. This is what I deal with. So, you know what? I changed my mind. That's the thing I hate. I'm going to talk about now.
You gross motherfucker.
Fucking come on.
So anyway, so we started playing video games, and then I had him join me and you on the next night. And so what was great about this, though, is because not only did we get along really well, one of the funniest fucking things happened that was never meant to even be funny did happen. And so... because we normally play Killing Floor 2, I'm so used to just creating a chat and making it public so that way our friends can jump in and out as needed.
Oh my god.
So I forgot that
I almost forgot about this.
Yeah, I forgot I still had my chat set to public, and I just forgot to set it to private. So anyways, we were in a public chat, me and Cody and Carlos, and we were playing Battlefront 2, and then like out of nowhere, someone named Pantless Princess joins. And so, so at first, like I didn't say anything, so I was like, oh, this must be one of Carlos's friends. This chat, you know, he probably invited someone to hang out with us, and so I was like, okay, well, Pantless Princess is a really fucking funny, you know, name, but I'm not gonna make fun of it. This person might be, you know, really nervous talking to new people that they've never met, so don't want to start off weird or anything. I'm just going to keep my comments to myself. And then Cody's just
Okay, so this entire time I was waiting for them to say hello to Carlos, because I thought the same thing, or to you. Because I was like, oh, maybe this is another person from Legion of Geeks that Matt invited. I was just waiting for someone to say something, and then nothing happened. And I was just like, because I was a little inebriated, so I was just like, aren't all princesses technically pantless?
And so I was like, all right, Cody made a joke about it, so now I have to make a joke about it, or else Cody's going to look like a monster, and I'm not going to leave my man out trying like that. So I was like, okay. I was like, I don't know. And apparently the best thing I could think of at the time, instead of just like saying, that's not funny, Cody, even... Like, was just
or
instead...
even like, I mean, Peach doesn't wear pants. You know,
yeah, or even just go along with it. Or anything. What I respond with is just like, I don't know about that, but I know I'm not wearing pants. And then Pantless Princess left. Now, keep in mind, at this time, we still had no idea that this wasn't Carlos's friend. We thought this was I thought this was Carlos's friend, or what Cody said. That was someone I, invited. And then, after they left, fucking Carlos and Cody were laughing their asses off. 2 minutes later, just like, hey, Carlos, we're like, Cody's like, I'm really sorry about that. I'm like, yeah, we're really sorry if we scared off your friend, man. And he's like, what are you talking about? And he was like, Pantless Princess, wasn't that your friend? He's like, oh, I have no idea who that was. And then I fucking realized at that point, here's this random individual who's maybe for the first time, getting the courage to talk to someone. Now, on one end, could it be a Twitch streamer girl, or even just a girl playing games? Sure. And they walked in, they're just like, my name's Pantless Princess, let's go play Battlefront. And then Cody, technically, princesses don't wear pants. And I'm just like, oh no, I'm not wearing pants. Would be really fucking weird to see. And then I also had this horrible thought. I'm like, fuck, what if this was a 12-year-old kid? And he was just for the first time trying to build up the courage to actually just talk to people on his favorite fucking Star Wars game and actually play the objective and win. And so he builds up the courage for the first time, and then again, technically all princesses didn't wear pants. I know, I'm not wearing pants, which I might as well have just followed up with, breathe into the mic more.
So I like how you went that route. In my head, I was just thinking it was just some gamer girl who's just hopping on to play. I was like, all right, I mean, for once, the group is in a group chat that I'm in, the squad that I'm in. Cool, maybe we'll be a little more strategic. And then you hear me technically aren't all princesses pantless? And then you go, I know I'm pantless. So she was probably thinking, God damn it, fucking fuckboys every goddamn time. And you're thinking oh my God.
I got really paranoid about it, man.
And I was mostly thinking fucking fuckboys every time, and then they...
I got really paranoid about it. I started overthinking it so hard. I'm just like... because I'm just like, the possibilities are endless. It could have been even some, like, 45-year-old dude who wants to see for, like, cool guys. Like, that would have been, like, the least offensive part. Oh, no, just some, like, gay dude talking about pants not being on. Or I don't know. Okay. So, yeah. And then, you know what made it even fucking funnier? Is that we didn't realize that the chat was public till another person jumped in.
Hold on, that's going to be a part of my things that I hate. I changed it because that reminded me of what I actually did hate this week.
Okay. So that's what I love and hate. Cody's hate.
So we're jumping into my love and hate is in the same night another person walked in, and I don't remember his name or whatsoever.
It was like Fishy something.
Oh yeah, Fishy whatever. But I just remember we're like, all right, cool. We're going to start playing, and he just goes, hey guys, I just want you to know that I'm not racist. And like the second I heard that, because I already knew it was public, like at that point, right. I was just like, oh, this is public, because I put 2 and 2 together, like after we all laughed when he was like, that's not my friend. I was like, oh, that was in our squad. That makes sense now. Why this motherfucker just joined us saying, I'm not racist. And I was like, right. Oh my God. So the thing I hate are you people that are baiters. I hate you so much. So much. Doesn't matter on what platform. I hate you troll baiters. Because it's the worst fucking way of trolling. Because you'll jump in and you ruin any conversation because you don't let up even when you're not acknowledged about it. And it just pisses me off so much because it did ruin like the match we were having, in my opinion, because it was such a we were having fun. And then of course, when someone just jumps and goes, hey, I'm not racist. And then we commented about, we said something, we were just talking about something else because we didn't want to acknowledge it. I knew exactly what was going to happen. And then he goes, oh man, that's cool. It's like that one time I wanted to beat the fuck out of this I'm not racist. Yeah. And it's just shit like that because it's fucking stupid. It's like, do you think you're funny? You think you're cool? What are you getting out of this? Like, you obviously the 3 people in the chat haven't acknowledged you. Are you saying this for someone else on the line? Are you saying this from over there? And it's like, no, you're saying it for yourself because you want to try and get your fucking rocks off on trying to bait someone. You go, oh my God, you're not racist, you piece of shit. Leave and then probably ban them or report them. And you're the worst kinds of trolls because it's stupid. Like, just fuck off. Just either have fun, enjoy the game, and maybe talk to new people and maybe make some online friends like me and Matt just did with Carlos. Yeah. Like, that's great. I've made a lot of great online friends and it's like, it never started off with, hey, I'm not racist. Can't we be trolls together? No, just fuck off. Like, seriously. Right. So that's the thing I hate. And the thing I love is actually kind of weird. I'm just looking at the screen of my movie for my movie review, and it kind of inspired me to switch the thing I love because I was going to talk about Tetris, and I've been really into Tetris lately. Yeah. But honestly, it's kind of the thing I love is when remakes are done right. So and I know that's kind of obscure things like, what the fuck do you mean? Cody, remakes done right? There are some done right. There are some done not. It's the ones that are done right. It means it's like my movie review is a remake that I believe is done right, where a remake that actually takes liberty with the source material and creates its own story, an entire own thing, and makes it its own and really owns the movie. Like, it takes the similar synopsis of the old movie, but then does away with it and makes it its own thing.
So, receipt and all.
And the reason why I love that is because, in my opinion, that's such an underrated thing that happens anymore. Because I feel like the only times I've ever heard anybody really love a remake like that, like, for instance, The Thing and, what's another one that did it? Oh, The Fly. Because most people don't remember remember or even know that those are remakes unless you're diehard fans, So, because not gonna lie, until about, maybe 5 years ago, I didn't know The Thing was a remake. I didn't know that. And then, and so, it blew my mind because I loved the movie The Thing, and I never knew it was a remake, and the fact that it's so good and it's on its own, and it was such a fantastic remake, it made its own name for itself. Yeah. And I love finding those gems. So I guess that's how she's at. I love those gems where that's the thing, and I'll go more into it about when I talk about my movie review. So about like why I switched it. So yeah, I love remakes that tell their own story.
Right on. More power to you.
Yeah, just because like especially in movies nowadays, like I watched this really important, in my opinion, a really important video on What Culture that they did. About how movie landscapes, how the blockbuster movies of nowadays have kind of ruined movies, and the fact they're all following the same exact formula. And then when you have a movie that does something with a lore and does something new, i.e. The Last Jedi, and tells its own story with that lore, it just gets shit on constantly. And I'll even go and it's the same with horror. So I don't know why I blanked on horror. We're on a fucking horror podcast. I know, I just got really bad with this. But like, especially in horror, like for instance, the Nightmare on Elm Street remake, it took liberties with it. It flipped it on its head and stuff like that, and changed things around. And a lot of people hated it. Yeah, hate it, even though I like it, but hate it. But in my opinion, that was one movie that like it did take liberties with the Freddy Krueger lore, adding in the fact that he was also a child molester instead of just a child killer. Yeah, that's terrible, but they still added new to his character and stuff. So yeah. So yeah, that's the thing I love is when you find those gems, those remake gems.
Nice.
I guess. Yeah, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thanks. Little much on the anchor part, but
I'm sorry. I know that kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm sorry.
Earlier today, I was like, "Why don't we just call him Angry Cody?" Seems like the most best nickname for him.
What are you trying to say here, Matt? Fuck those ducks. Alright. Anyways.
So.
After all that, that's the things we love and hate. Shall we get into the meat?
Yep.
The meat of our episode?
You can go first this time. Because I went first last time.
Okay. All right. So this week, as you know, we were talking about the differences between supernatural and paranormal. Yes, I did that on purpose because I really, really wanted to.
Now I'm doubting that you did it on purpose. Now that you said that you did it on purpose, I would have guessed it. Now that you said it, fake.
I'm sorry, I'm a phony, okay? I don't even know why I tried. But no, we were talking about supernatural versus paranormal, and when I was doing all that research, I know a big thing that came up at the end of that episode was the supernatural using paranormal ways. Yeah. That's what how a supernatural entity can use paranormal means. And so I was honestly having a lot of problems looking for a movie, because every time I looked for something, I was like, it just, for whatever reason, it was always ghost movie, and there's also just other things, and I was just, I don't know, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of really good picks too, but I was just having such a hard time, and I was just looking through the movies, and I totally forgot, and I always wanted to watch it. I saw it, and I was super excited. I was like, oh my god, I've been really wanting to do this again. And I thought I wanted to save it for another time, but I thought this was also a perfect time. But the remake of Suspiria, the 2018 remake.
Suspiria.
Yeah, and so I just remember looking at that, and when I was doing my research, I remember that supernatural other entities that can be considered supernatural that use paranormal are, magic users and witches and witchcraft. And I remember, and Suspiria, if you guys remember from the first time that I reviewed the original movie, I talked about how at the end they were all witches, and it's a thing of witches, and I was like, oh, cool, that fits, finally, I'll do it, and I really want to do this movie. So, I'm not done with my rant. Suspiria, this one, the remake came out in 2018. The synopsis is: a darkness swirls at the center of a world-renowned dance company, one that will engulf the artistic director, an ambitious young dancer, and a grieving psychotherapist. Some will succumb to the nightmare, others will finally wake up.
Or will they?
Honestly, that's a really solid fucking synopsis for IMDb. Really solid.
It's about time.
Okay. Anyways, it is directed by Luca Guadagnino. I don't know, it's a very Italian name. It was written by Dario Argento and Daria Nicolodi. That stars Chloe Grace Moretz, Tilda Swinton, Doris Hicks, and also oh my god, where the heck? Sorry, Dakota
Johnson.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson. Jesus Christ, it was on the tip of my tongue.
Got you.
Thank you. And Dakota Johnson. And what I will say is probably my favorite role of Dakota Johnson to date. Like, she was amazing in this movie. But yeah, so right from the beginning, not gonna lie, I almost like hated this movie just from the get-go in the first few minutes, because they already blow the twist. So if, again, from the first movie, you don't find out that the whole entire dance studio is a coven of witches until the very end. You know, that's the big twist in the first movie, and then they drop it in the very beginning. When you see Chloe Moretz, Grace's character, talking to the therapist, and she drops the fact, she's like, they're witches, they're all a bunch of witches. And I was just like, this may or may not have ruined the movie for me. Like, it's just instantly, just because I love the first one.
Yeah.
And but what I really liked about this movie is, like, in the beginning also is that you start hearing voices in the air. It's like really, really subtle in the beginning.
Yeah.
And you start hearing it, and Chloe's character, she's like looking around frantically, like freaking out, like, don't you hear it? Can't you hear him? And she's she's talking to her therapist about it, and he's like, I don't hear anything. And I thought that was really cool, because I was like, okay, that leads in, that like helps out and like is an homage to the first movie, with the fact that every time a spell was happening was when the music was happening.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you could tell in the first movie, whenever you heard the goblins tune and them going, la, 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 like in the background, that's when a spell is happening. Yeah. So it was a really cool homage, and I was like, all right, Suspiria. There's this really cool way that the music in this movie, just like the first one, is fantastic. They do such a great job with the music in this movie. And so much so in just the beginning, because there's this wheezing, and then you see like this dying woman. She's, you know, that's where the wheezing's coming from. Yeah. And her wheezing's actually the beat to the song that's playing. And they do it really, really good, and just everything you're seeing through the movie while you're hearing the wheezing and the creepy atmosphere and the music going on, it just adds so well. Like, this movie starts off really, really great and just adds the creep factor, and I love it, and it continues out through the entire movie. So much so that even when there's no music, you're still like, yeah, huh! Because so when you're introduced to Susie, so Susie comes in, she's auditioning for this world-renowned, amazing ballet school, and it's set in Germany, and so she wants to audition to be in this Germanic school, and it's also set during the times when the Berlin Wall was up, because it's set in Berlin. You see the wall, and that's a really, really key thing in the movie, because the wall is like signifies everything, which is insane. But so she comes in, she's telling everyone, like, you know, they're all like, we have never heard of you. Like, you should just be lucky that you're getting this audition, and that Mother Blanc was impressed with you, and stuff like that. Because she's saying how she has no prior training, nothing. And they're like, all right, go ahead. And so then they tell her, but she has to do her audition in silence. They don't want music. They want to see how she moves around in that. And so her entire audition is in silence. And so the only sound you hear is, you know, her footsteps and the dancing and her breathing. And it's really cool. And it adds such an eerie vibe to her audition, because you see, since you already know they're witches, and you already know that, you know, they're using her, they're wanting her for something. The fact that they're all staring at her and just staring her down during her audition is really cool. And it just adds to the creep factor. And so then it jumps in. So this is where I was kind of iffy on knowing that they're witches, but it adds to the story, and it's a big payoff in the end, because I did for whatever reason, this kind of threw me out. But so they switch to where you see all the head witches and all the main witches in this area, and they're talking, and they're doing this vote, and they start talking about this ritual that they need to do, and Susie's the main, you know, the key to it all. And it's still, that's when I was like, I don't know if I like that. And then, but when the first death happens, knowing they're witches pays off so much. Holy shit.
Right.
Like, I've never been so uncomfortable and hurt through a death scene in so long. But watching this one,
it's
like,
pretty brutal,
it's
man.
so brutal, especially with no blood. No blood until the very, very end. Just, damn. And so, like, just like the first movie, knowing when they're doing a spell, like, it's a very small hint. So in the first movie, you could tell they were doing a spell through the music. Well, in this movie, it's the dancing. So whenever they're doing their dances, whenever you see them dancing, you know a spell is happening, because that's when all this death scene happens, and she's getting contorted depending on how the Susie's dancing, and Susie doesn't know what she's doing. Like, she's just dancing her audition, and the fact that, like, it's just it's so good, because she's auditioning to be the lead dancer for the recital. And so she says she knows the dance because she's seen it 100 times. She's moved across the country to watch this recital when they're in the States. She says she's from Ohio, and so she knows this dance. So she's doing it, and just it's so good. And it's the thing about it too is like, and so like just that death. I'm not gonna go over the death scene because just that contortion is just they just do it so well. And that actress, man, she's a hell of an actress to just go through that entire and be able to contort herself while still like it was good, so good. And so small things that happen throughout the movie that I really liked is seeing Mother Blanc, which is Tilda Swinton's character, casting small spells on Susie throughout the entire movie. And you're like, it kind of throws you off a little bit because you start seeing Blanc slowly have like show affection towards Susie, and you can tell she's starting to question the rest of the coven and stuff about this ritual because Susie's a part of it, and they just keep getting closer and closer, and you don't really know why. It's just there's this weird connection between the two. I mean, you find out in the end. One thing, a small detail I like that they add is the title of each chapter it gives you a hint at what's going to happen in this next section of the movie, and I really like that. Okay.
You got it?
Sorry, I'm kind of blanking on this scene. So, okay, yeah, okay. So there's a scene where all the main witches are having a meeting, and they're talking about everything, and they're talking about the ritual, and you see the like dread on Mother Blanc's face. But there's this one witch throughout the entire movie. She's always in the background, and you always see the dread on her face, and she's just so upset. Because you don't know what the ritual is. You just know there's a ritual, and that Susie's part of it, and she's just dreaded throughout. And so, like, something she does, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but she does something, and it's like it comes out of nowhere, because it just fucking happens. But you know why she does it if you've paid attention to her throughout the entire movie. But yeah, so another thing I loved about this movie is that all the witches are really smart. Like, they actually showed the villains how smart they are and, like, everything that they do, because, like, they set traps for the people in there. Like, they fuck with the police, and they like throw them off, and they're really smart. And then they actually do things to, like, lure out the ones that they're after, and they use traps. Like I said, they're really cool because, like, so the therapist, he's another character played by Tilda Swinton. She plays two characters in this movie, and she's fantastic at both of them. They like use history that you only know small bits about him and they use his dead wife to lure him out, and it's really cool. And I was like, oh, cool, that's really smart. And because they keep doing that throughout the entire thing. All right, so the ending. Holy fuck, the ending. So in this movie, there's not a whole lot of gore, but when the gore happens, god damn, it happens. Like, this movie, I feel like, gets 4 out of 5 buckets just because there isn't a whole lot of gore until the end.
Yeah.
But when there is, it is everywhere. And so I'm going to talk about the ending. Spoiler alert. I would jump ahead. Fast forward about 1 minute. Getting the timer out.
I got it.
Fast.
Don't worry.
Sorry.
I got this.
So
1 minute.
All right, 1 minute spoiler. So I'm talking about the ending here. Hold on. So I'm going to be talking about the ending.
My bad.
If you don't want the ending spoiled, because I was going to base whether I like this movie all about the So you find out that the ritual that they're doing is that they're going to sacrifice Susie to Mother Margot, who's the other witch that they keep talking about, because Blanc and Margot are fighting for the head witch spot, and so Susie's supposed to be sacrificed to her, but then Susie like flips shit on its head, and she goes, "I want this to happen." She tells Tilda Swinton, Madame Blanc, and before Madame Blanc can stop the ritual, she gets killed, and then Susie goes, "I am Mother Suspiria. I'm taking all your powers away. Because you are my children and you fucked up." And she murders fucking everyone except for a small handful of witches. And it's just, holy shit.
Right.
And like, it is just blew my mind. Okay. I didn't, like, I spoiled the twist.
Spoilers are over.
Yep, spoilers are over. I spoiled the twist, but I didn't go into too much detail about what actually happens at the end because you have to see it. Like, it's just so good.
But he definitely went into it enough.
Yes. And so the twist, and the cool thing about the twist is, like, you do see, once I saw, like, after it happened, I was like, holy shit, there's small hints to it throughout the entire movie. Like, it's staring you in the face once you realize it. Because I went back and, like, rewatched parts of it, and I was like, yep, makes sense. Oh my god, they're so good. So, I didn't have a whole lot of cons, just because, like I said, man, my biggest con was the fact that they said the witches in the beginning, but then the ending pays off. So, like, that was it for me. And, like, I know there's some in there. I just didn't have any for myself. Like, I was just super into the movie. I could not take my eyes off it. Like, it was so good. So, just a couple quick fun facts and trivia. Dakota Johnson completed 2 years of ballet training in preparation for her role in this film. Damn, that's dedication. That's pretty cool. So Jessica Harper, who played Susie in the original Suspiria that came out in 1977, appears late in the film as Dr. Klemper's wife, Anka. I fucking knew it! In an interview with her and screenwriter David Kajanich at the film's Fantastic Fest premiere in Austin, Texas, Kajanich revealed he and director Luca Guadagnino thought Anka would be the best character for Harper to play. Guadagnino... I actually said it. She immediately contacted the Berlitz School to learn and practice German for her scenes, as she had lied to Guadagnino about speaking the language. For Harper, the hardest thing to do was get the dialect right while walking backward. And then, unlike the original film, which uses exaggerated colors, Guadagnino conceived Suspiria as winterish and bleak, absent of primary colors. So, yeah. Did you have one you wanted to read?
Yeah, it's somewhat a spoiler, but not really a big one. At the end of the ritual scene, one of the deceased dancers on the left side of the screen clearly has their head showing, but the next shot, it's edited out again. So,
yeah.
It's a little bit of a spoiler, but not too bad.
No, because you'll find out why. That's a small spoiler when you watch it. Yeah. There's a lot.
All you know is that she's supposed to be headless. But why?
Exactly. And it's fucking incredible.
Oh, yeah. Good review.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. So, speaking of incredible, so I definitely went more into the paranormal side of things for me. And this is a movie that I've been eyeing for a long time. And before the podcast, like, I kept going back and forth if I was going to watch it. And then after the podcast started, I'm just like, I don't want to watch it now. I want to watch it for a movie review. Mm-hmm. And so, and it stars one of, not just one, but a lot of my favorite actors in this movie. But the one that heads this movie is beautifully done by the amazing Anton Yelchin. If you don't Thomas. So first off, I'm going to tell you, I have been an absolute idiot for not watching this sooner, and I'm going to get into the reasons why. So
it's a good one, man.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
So, in a California desert town, a short order cook with a clairvoyant abilities encounters a mysterious man with a link to the dark, threatening forces. So, it's directed by Stephen Sommers, written by Stephen Sommers and Dean R. Koontz, and stars Anton Yelchin, Ashley Sommers, and...
Dean R. Koontz wrote the book.
Yes. And I was going to touch on that too. And Leonore Varela. So, flat out, man, it's this movie, it just, like, right when it starts out, the biggest pro I can give it is that it jumps right into it. And Anton Yelchin, like, real quick alone, because may he rest in peace, is just such a fantastic actor. Everything I have seen him in, he has been amazing, whether it is mainstream stuff like Star Trek or even indie stuff like this movie, Thomas. You know, he's just, he really dives into every role, and he's so versatile, and the world is worse off without his talent in it, and I mean that wholeheartedly. But he just jumps into the role of Odd Thomas himself, and he's actually an amazing, extremely likable character, and not like
it was kind of like watching him be himself.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, straight up, I could see...
He has a very natural atmosphere and energy to him, and
like,
he really shows that on screen.
Yeah, because, like, I could see just the character of Odd, like, take out all the supernatural to Thomas. I could see that just being straight up how Anton Yelchin is in real life, or was.
Yeah, for real. No, and so, like, he's just an amazing man. So, like, he's an amazing man in the story, and he's, like, even to the point of, like, being, like, a superhero. Kind of, like, early, like, if I was going to compare it to anything, it'd be, like, the first round of, like, the Captain America movies, or even a better one would be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
The ones with Tobey Maguire, the first one's second one.
Yeah, I definitely got a Sam Raimi Spider-Man feel to his...
he's, like, very likable. Like, he's a dork, but you love the dude. And so, like, starting off, man, like, it starts off into him introducing who he is, what he does, talking about the fact that he can communicate with the dead. For some reason, the dead don't talk back. So on and so forth. But he's following this girl who points out this guy in this, you know, sports car. Or no, it's not a sports car, it's a muscle car. And come to find out this guy murdered this girl. Now, this isn't spoiler because this literally happens in the beginning. So he, you know, so he finds out, you know, and goes and confronts the dude who kidnapped this girl that led him to him, and because of what he did, murdered the girl, and has... I won't give away what he has on him in his pocket, but it's just like he's a bad dude. So it just has Anton Yelchin's character chasing him through this neighborhood sequence to where they end up at, like, a house party, and at this house party there's this other kid. So the guy that he's chasing goes up to attack the kid, and Anton Yelchin gets up there, breaks a base over his head, and they start just going fisticuffs, and he starts beating the shit out of the dude. And so just like you're just like, fuck yeah, like, right away, man. Like, it just jumps right into it. Like, and I really, really enjoyed it. And it's just, throughout, it's a really exciting movie. Like, Anton Yelchin sells so many of the scenes in this film. But what really helps is the chemistry that he has with all of his other actors and actresses. One of the biggest names is Willem Dafoe himself. Because I'm such a big Willem Dafoe fan, I love everything he's been in, whether it's, you know, Boondock Saints, or... I'm, like, repeating myself with, like, my love for Anton. Like, so just seeing the two of them share a screen, like, it's fucking phenomenal for me.
Yeah.
Like, I was just like, hell yeah, like, Willem Dafoe is the shit, pure and simple. And really, there's an overall amazing cast. Like, even Patton Oswalt has a scene in this. And it's just fucking... It's really good. Like, it's a fantastic book all around. So as the movie progresses, you know, Anton's showing his everyday life. You know, he's a short order cook. He's really likable. Then he starts seeing that there are these spirits that are entering the world. And these spirits will only go to where there's going to be soon to be carnage or killings of some sort. And so usually one is a warning sign, but he starts to see a very unnatural amount of them. And so he starts focusing on this guy who I'm not going to give away the name of in order to protect the plot some more. But he gives away that, you know, he's talking about this guy who's being followed by them. And with that comes this new narrative of now he has to figure out what is going to happen, because he also is haunted by a dream where people in bowling shirts get shot to death. And so starts this big adventure. And another thing that I really want to point out in this movie that I just absolutely loved and just was so good about it, and this also is just what I'm talking about with, like, Anton Yelchin's ability to work with other actors and the chemistry between them. So his girlfriend, who is played by Ashley Summers in the movie, or not Ashley Summers, sorry, I'm getting my names mixed up because I'm just, like, reading the first one I see. But his girlfriend, who plays Stormy, and I'll have to find the name here in a second, they just have an amazing chemistry together. Like, they are the perfect couple. Addison Timlin, by the way, is who I was looking for. So Stormy, his girlfriend, like, they have this amazing relationship. They're so cute together. It's adorable. And, like, it's just, like, they're so in love with each other that the rest of the world is just given a pass to view it. And it's just so good. Like, it's definitely corny. And that's, like, the only one of the two cons I give it is that it can be a little corny. So if you're not a big fan of that...
Yeah, it does get moments.
Yeah.
Where it does take you out of it a little bit.
Yeah, like, it can be a little corny, but the more you, like, buy into these characters, the more you kind of don't care. But, like, their just, like, relationship is fantastic. And she has a very... You know, I love Odd. I am not going to let him go into danger by himself. I am my own woman. And she never, like, shows a sign of weakness because she wants him to be strong and not worry about her. And, like, you just, like, feel for her because it's like we've all have someone in our lives that we love so much that we don't want them to see us be weak. Yeah. And so, like, I just really it was just fantastic. And so more of this mystery uncovers. He finds out that there's going to be a mass shooting and he has to find out where it happens. And so, you know, before I get to that point, it has this, like, really, really good 90s aesthetic the entire time. Like, like there's just a lot of, like, right amount of corny humor, but likable characters, drama, and, like, enough to move the story forward that is straight from, like, a 90s movie. And so, and I really loved it for that. Like, normally that's, like, would give it a bad kind of, like, taste, but I think it really helps it in the overall case for it. And it's just a fantastic story. Like, it's really well told overall. The plotline's amazing. Everything that happens within the story is great. The only other con I'm going to really give it is that it does lack a little bit on the effects side. One example of this is there's a scene where him and Stormy go up to the top of this church to be alone. Yeah. But you can tell the skyline is on a green screen or a blue screen. Yeah. And you can just tell it was added in. Now, I'm not going to, like, make it, like, that's throughout the movie. Like, even the CG for, like, the spirits, the ghosts, the monsters, the ghouls are fairly as well. But, like, it's overall, like, it's not terrible. It's just, you notice it. So, but it's definitely something that you can easily overlook. Yeah. But... So it just has such an amazing story that I'm going to talk about the end, and I'm going to give myself about a 2-minute spoiler warning. So if you don't want to hear the spoilers, skip forward in the video 2 minutes or skip forward in the audio 2 minutes. So I'm going to be doing that in 3, 2, 1, now. Okay, so what ends up happening is that he finds out that there's going to be this mass shooting at this mall, and he's uncovering who's doing all this, and to stop one of the gunmen that finally that weren't stopped in time, who starts shooting their gun, finds out that his girlfriend is also in this mall because he remembers that she works there. She works at this ice cream shop. So he goes to go save Stormy. And what ends up happening is that, you know, he uses the gun for the first time. He picks up a handgun from a knocked out security cop, I think it is, and shoots the dude. The dude, you know, at this point is also, like, unloaded, like, a full clip into the ice cream shop that Stormy works in. Stormy stands up, and she's just covered in ice cream, and so, like, everything's like, oh my god, thank you that the girlfriend lived. Like, she's alive, thank God. And so then, you know, he gets rewarded as a town hero, and then it shows him and Stormy taking this big vacation where all they did is eat junk food. All they did was watch TV all day. They stayed up way too late, slept in way too late. Just really bad habits overall for their health. And then you see William Dafoe's character and his wife and another one of Thomas's friends walk in, and they look at him and tell him to finally let go. Come to find out that Stormy actually did get shot to death in that scene.
Oh, dude, I almost cried.
And you realize that that when he was talking about the past few months of them staying in late, eating bad food and everything, was him grieving because the spirit of his girlfriend was still there.
Yeah, she hung out with him to help him grieve.
And you just see this, like, gut-wrenching performance performed by Anton Yelchin at the end, and man, it was rough. Like,
well, it all led to it. She wanted him to be good.
Yeah.
That's why, man. So, like, even in death.
So, that's the end of the spoiler.
Man.
But it's, you know, it's kind of a corny one, but with Anton Yelchin and how he just delivers the performance, you can easily look past it, and
dude, it's a good movie.
So, and we're going to tell you where you can catch Suspiria and Odd Thomas here at the end here. But
I didn't give mine.
No, it's okay. We'll just do it at the end. But, before I get to the trivia and everything else, what I will say is when we want to watch movies, when we go to see a good movie, besides the effect of wanting a deep message, we want an adventure. We want something that we can take away from it, including a deep message. Whether this is covered in comedy or horror or adventure or a mixture of everything like that. We want that adventure. And Odd Thomas is just such a poorly overlooked movie because it delivers probably one of the best adventures of a film that I have experienced in a very long time. It hits on everything right. It hits on the great classical concept of comedy and drama when it comes to theater.
It makes you laugh. It makes you cry. It makes you go, oh!
Truly, if you haven't watched Odd Thomas by now, then you are literally missing out as a horror fan and a fan of the supernatural and a fan of film in general. You're doing yourself a disservice, and I highly encourage you to go watch it right now. So my trivia for it though, before I tell you where you can go watch it and whatnot, I'm just going to do a little bit just to keep in with the time.
I did the longer movie this time.
You did do a longer movie.
Mine was literally exactly an hour longer than yours.
So, trivia. Another scene that was deleted involved Odd and Storming's matching birthmarks, an important reference from the book. As Odd leaves the hospital, one of the signs that is being held up says, "In Odd We Trust," which is a graphic novel in the series. And the third one I'll throw in was filming was stopped for several weeks due to financial problems. Oh, that's a terrible one. I want a better one than that. That was awful. So I'm gonna do.
I got a pretty dark one.
Okay, hold on. I got one. So
you should find is it a feel good one?
It's this one right here. So I'm just gonna do it. So several notable characters from the novel were deleted from the film. Terry Stambaugh, owner of the grill Odd works at, a motherly figure and a walking encyclopedia. Elvis Knowledge, DJ Samus, blind radio host. A sign can be seen advertising his radio station when Stormy and Odd first walk into the Green Moon bowling alley. And the ghost of Elvis, Little Ozzy, also had an important role in the novel, as he was the one who convinced Odd to write his story, but it is only seen in one scene in the film. So keep in mind, if you're fans of the books, it's going to be weird. There's going to be things that you're missing, but still, please check it out. Go ahead.
Also,
real quick.
If you're fans of the book, this is a really morbid and just crazy, coincidence, especially talking about the supernatural. In the novel, Thomas meets a young boy who shares his gift and actually gave him the name for the shadow creatures, Bodox. Shortly after saying the name, the boy is killed by a runaway car, pinning him against a wall. It's exactly the same way how Anton left.
Yeah.
That's how he died in real life.
That's
such a crazy link, you know what I mean? Also, mine's only on Amazon Prime because it's an Amazon Prime original.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was just gonna find and see if it was anywhere else.
No, so that's okay. Because of that, so where you can find Suspiria, the remake, is on Amazon Prime because it's an Amazon Prime original. So I remember why I never saw it beforehand. It was because it didn't go to theaters.
Yeah, it did.
Did it?
Yeah.
I thought it just went straight to Amazon Prime.
No, dude, it totally went to theaters.
Oh, I thought it went straight to.
So you can get it on Amazon Prime.
Yep. And then where can we get Odd Thomas?
So you can get Odd Thomas on Hulu right now. It's also usually frequented on Netflix too, and also Amazon as well. So please check them out. Please check out these movies. They're fantastic. They're amazing. Really dive into it. And as always, if you want to keep up with everything that we're doing and follow us, you can do it on Facebook at punkrockhorrorpodcast, or you can do it on our Twitter at officialPRHP, or
on Instagram, punkrockhorrorpodcast, #PRHP podcast.
We are also on Patreon. If you want to come support us, you get monthly. We have monthly tiers. All have great rewards on them. One is our mystery box, which we will put, a mystery horror movie that we reviewed recently for you to keep. You get also a thank you note with that, and also a lot of other smattering of goodies, and a very decorative Punk Rock Horror Podcast mystery box, or you also get content just like the Punk Rock Half Hour Power and early access to all of our content. We also still have a limited amount of shirts. That shirt, to be exact,
right there.
from our good friends over at Aethers Oath. Please go to our bigcartel.com. It'll be right there. It's not bigcartel.com. It's punkrockhorrorstore.com. It'll be in the links below. Please check them out. Thank you again, Ghouls, Gals, Creeps, and Mutants, for continuing to support us. This means a lot to us. If you like what we're doing, please let us know in iTunes with a 5-star review. That is the best way to communicate your approvals and your non-approvals with what we do. Let us know. We might just actually read them. All right, Ghouls, Gals, Creeps, and Mutants, thank you again, and we will talk horror with you next time.
Bye.